All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. So how to transform your life in less than 30 days. And this is not clickbait. You actually don't even need that long of a time frame to improve your life. You can actually do that today. You can start taking the steps towards a better life today. Obviously, depending on what you're trying to achieve, some things may take a little more time than others. But your overall quality of life, again, can start changing today for the better. So the first thing I would advise you to do, and again, this is all just from personal experience and observation, things that have helped me tremendously in my own life to just improve the quality, the overall feelings of wellness in my life from day to day, and to just, wake up with that fire in my belly to make something of myself and to make something of my life day to day, right? The worst position you can be in, one of the worst, at least from my point of view, is to just be stuck in monotony. I'm sure you can relate, right? We've all been there where we just wake up day to day. We go to our 9 to 5. If you have a 9 to 5, you come back home. You have, barely any time to do anything for yourself. You eat some dinner, you shower, maybe you watch a little TV and you go to sleep, right? The worst place that you can be is monotony and drudgery. Right. So if you find yourself in that sort of situation, just realize that you don't have to be in that sort of situation, whatever situation you find yourself. Right. So I'll just get straight to it. The first thing you got to realize is that you have to have your basics in order. Right. There's a great quote in the Bible that states, a house that is built on sand will not stand. And this is very true. You got to have a solid foundation for your life. So you want to be building a house, so to speak, on solid ground, right? On a good foundation. And what's the good foundation, in my opinion? It's getting the basics handled. Your diet, your exercise routine, and your sleep. Common stuff that we all know we should be, taking care of to the best degree possible. But how many of us, go day to day just completely neglecting these areas of our life? As far as sleep goes, what works for me is 8 hours of sleep every day, at least. If I can get a little more, maybe 9.5, that is ideal. But I always try to aim for at least 8 hours of sleep every single day. Find a cool, quiet room to go to sleep every single day, right? Try to reduce the amount of light that goes into that room so you can have the best possible sleep possible. It's not that hard, but again, it's a difficult thing, especially if you're juggling a bunch of stuff to try to get 8 hours of sleep every day. But make that your goal, right? And you'll see the difference immediately. Diet, again, I don't need to go too much into detail. There's a lot of information out there as to what people should be eating and what people have been eating for thousands of years, right? There's a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lot of new fad diets, right? A lot of nonsensical information out there that, is trying to brainwash people into accepting, a bunch of stuff. I won't go too into detail onto what I mean by this, but I'm sure you probably know what I'm trying to get at, right? Veganism, all this nonsense that is completely lacking in any basic nutrition. But again, what worked for me in this area is just eating whole foods and eating as our ancestors have been eating for thousands of years, right? Animal products and plenty of water, right? Fruits and a little bit of vegetables every now and then, even though I personally don't eat that many vegetables anymore. But animal-based products, right? Eggs, beef, all different types of cuts from all different types of meat cuts, chicken, a lot of dairy products, right? And personally, when I started implementing this sort of, I wouldn't even call it a diet, just this form of eating in my life, I've noticed the difference in my own overall energy levels and mood. So, and again, just exercise. This is a tricky one because it's easy to overtrain yourself and overexert yourself. And, whenever you exercise, your body is using resources, right? Hormonal, it's using energy to do the task at hand, right? So I wouldn't recommend doing strenuous exercise day to day, day after day. everybody's body is different, everybody's recovery time is different. So just try to get some basic exercise every day, whether it be walking or, again, going outside, or doing a couple laps around the pool, whatever it may be. Keep it low to, well, it all depends on your goals, of course, but try to do some form of low impact exercise every day, and then just tailor it to your needs accordingly, right? Whether you're trying to go into bodybuilding or trying to get into better shape, listen to your body and see what routine works for you. Don't overexert yourself, because there's a lot of again, misinformation. There's misinformation everywhere, guys, so be very careful to who you listen to, and actually just apply things into your life and see what works for you. That would be the best piece of advice from this video. If you take anything away from this video, it's that, right? At the end of the day, don't consume too much information and let your actions follow after that, right? Try to just gain experience as much as possible and see what works in your life and what doesn't. And stop trying to consume all this different type of information, and just, base your actions based on that information. Just, of course, you should always do your research, but what I'm trying to say is don't think too much. Get out there and live your life, right? And see what works for you. So if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for listening. So things that will immediately improve your life: you got to have healthy relationships in your life. If you have toxic relationships in your life, you'll only find yourself drained of energy. You'll find yourself drained of just any good mood, any good feelings, any good vibes. People, unfortunately, from my personal experience, are not very genuine anymore. It's very hard to find real people, so to speak. Real as in authentic, truthful, not two-faced, right? Just basic humanity. It's kind of hard to find it. And that's a very sad thing, right? I mean, nobody's perfect, right? But what I'm trying to say is that what happened to the people that were just honest and truthful and genuine, right? And actually had a good heart, and are not trying to just deceive you or manipulate you or trying to get something from you, right? It's really, really hard to meet those sort of people nowadays. Unfortunately, the latter seems to be the norm. So again, if you have any toxic relationships in your life, I would highly encourage you to just completely get rid of them, right? And you'll see how much sanity comes back into your life. Having healthy, loving relationships in your life is a staple. I'm not saying to isolate yourself and just not talk to anybody, obviously not, but again, just being very careful as to the people that you let in your inner circle, because the people that are around you influence you, whether you're aware of it or not. So you want to have, ideally, right, healthy, loving relationships in your life. Really take care of your self-esteem and your confidence. And obviously, this is such a broad topic that it's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly how to go about this. But self-esteem is just the feelings of wellness that you have in yourself, right? The amount of confidence that you have in yourself, and your own mindset of how you view yourself, right? How capable you see yourself in achieving or solving certain problems, or achieving certain things or solving certain problems, right? And just your overall view of of yourself. So self-esteem and confidence, first and foremost, at least from my perspective, comes from within. It all starts in how you view yourself and how you view the world, right? How you view others, and most importantly, how you view yourself. So if you don't have very good things to say about yourself, right? If you're constantly talking bad about yourself, if you're not very, optimistic, or, you don't have a very good self-image of yourself, obviously your self-esteem and confidence is going to suffer. So that's where it all begins, right? The internal world. Your own mentality and the way you view yourself. Obviously, there are things that can be done externally, things that you can do to improve this area of your life, right? Whether it be mastering a certain skill or learning a martial art. I think it all just comes back to challenging yourself and living your life, right? Doing things, not just being a vegetable and not doing anything with your life, right? Actually putting in the energy towards achieving certain things and challenging yourself, facing your fears. There are just so many facets of self-esteem, or just so many, branches that make up the overall, concept, right? So challenge yourself, challenge yourself, get out there, try things, fail, get up again, and get out there and make something of yourself, right? And you'll see how much your confidence and your self-esteem improves because of this. Confront things. Don't put things off for later. Later never comes. Later is just a word that we use sometimes to put things off, right? Well, I'll do that later. Later never comes. So don't put things off if you know you should be doing something. Confront your problems. Confront the things that are bothering you in your life. This is a big one. If you put things off for later, if you don't confront an issue when it arises, it just tends to grow and grow into something much bigger. And at times it may seem overwhelming, right? So we just kind of pretend it like it's not there, or we don't do anything about it. So don't let your problems become much bigger than they really are. Confront things in life. That's another good tip that I could give you. Put down the phone and go outside. Try to live as naturally as possible. The phone addiction and just technology addiction is such a problem. It's such a modern, first world problem that has unfortunately come up. Phones are a great tool, but they can also be a great distraction. So don't spend too much time on technology in general, right? Go outside, live as naturally as you can, and you'll see how much sanity and feelings of wellness come back to you. If you're constantly glued in front of a screen and you're not, going outside and socializing, if you're not out in nature and, physically active, of course you're gonna not feel well. These things take a toll. So, again, this is a tough one because phone addiction is very real, and it's something that can completely fry your brain, right? So just do your very best in this area. Put the phone away as much as possible and try to, again, live as naturally as possible. And finally, I'll leave you with this. Be grateful for what you have, because tomorrow is not promised. These are all things that, again, you can instantly start putting into your life that will, improve the quality of it. Be grateful for what you have, again, because tomorrow is not promised. Don't compare yourself to others. And I'll also leave you with an extra tip is to obviously have a direction in your life. Just pick something that you're passionate about, or that you're competent in, or that you find interesting, and go in that direction, right? It doesn't need to be perfect. Just find something that you enjoy, again, and that are in these things that have these things that I just mentioned, and just go for it. Course correct along the way. If you don't like the path you're on, you can always pivot, right? But just have clear goals that you want to achieve and a clear direction to where you want to go and what you want your life to look like, right? This will give you a lot of clarity in your life, and it will give you a direction in which to go, right? So, and obviously that's a lot better than just not having that, right? And just kind of wandering around and not really knowing what you're doing. So it's normal to feel that way, of course, but just have some goals, basically, right? So if you made it this far in the video, hopefully something that I mentioned is of use to you. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I just talk about topics that fascinate me, whether it be in the self-development field, in the life advice area, or anything else that might pique my interest in general. I'm sure that if you stick around on this channel, you'll find something of value here. Thank you to all the viewers and subscribers of this channel. Let me know your thoughts, any video suggestions, anything in general, and I'll see you guys in the next one.